And honestly, I'm a bit surprised he's even managed to get one win so far.
I mean, we will wait and see. He's drawn Prep again as the Quest Rogue in the aggro matchup, but Tom has drawn the Curve again. He's got Diamol into Scavenging Hyena, not quite as oppressive as it was last time around. And let's remember just how good Tom's opening draw was in that past matchup that we saw. And the Quest Priest, the Topsy Priest, was able to still just about scramble away back into it.
Well, Tom's got another fantastic opener this time, and I'd say in this matchup, the damage is a bit stickier. It tends to be. You know, Ryvius has that chance to get back into it, but that's post-Quest, very much like it is in the Priest game. The Quest, however, from Ryvius' side in this game, I feel like it's a bit harder to get to.
Oof.
Right now, Ryvius is going to be under pressure. Tom chooses to hold coin instead of compound the issue with the second Dire Mole. And I imagine that means he's looking at getting Dire Frenzy active as early as possible to get damage rolling.
I wonder whether Tom is going to just tempo out the Scavenging Hyena here. It looks like a reasonable proposition, but you know, from Tom's perspective, Ryvius kept a card. I think the Prep was the only card that was kept alongside the Quest, but that card is very entitled to be a South Sea deckhand. It's something that you keep, and I think this play, as what I was about to suggest, is a direct recognition of playing around South Sea deckhand in particular, of not wanting to give your opponent such a big tempo swing early on.
It's weird that Timberwolf is being used in this spot to me. It's pushing 1 damage with a Dire Mole and prompts Ryvius to use 1 dagger attack.
Yep. It means
effectively resulting in Arcane Shot your face.
It means, though, if there is a South Sea deckhand in hand, that he's preserving both of these Dire Moles on board, which get to continue to push damage.
Ryvius, I imagine, is going to be eyeing to use a preparation next turn to activate Elven Minstrel. And that means Tom, floor's open for him to start getting some pressure going.
Yep. And with that in mind, Ryvius is considering how much mana he wants to spend this turn and on what. Glacial Shard comes down and becomes a threat, honestly, on Tom's side for the Scavenging Hyena and the Springpole combination to be able to trade some gas into this.
It's little disruptive tools that Ryvius uses. There, you know, it's a huge expense that he pays to get this done, but again, the best way this deck has been described to me in terms of piloting it is play it as a board control deck. It's quite a weak one, but it is one.
Yeah.
And if you're able to control the board, at some point in the game, if you're still alive, you will complete the quest and perhaps be able to recover from there. Lots of foresight, lots of small little things that go into it, but this is the way to play it. You have to expend your tools and watch them burn away and trust that your deck will produce.
Yeah, Tom did his due diligence there in terms of making sure that he found other lines if there was one, but it was a pretty straightforward looking play. Ryvius, however, finding a spell to prep off this turn is fantastic for him. And the Glacial Shard off the top, already played 1, finds option 2 and 3 in hand, but is still going to respect the ever-growing threat of that Scavenging Hyena. And I do like that, because that thing will just get bigger and bigger, and you only have 2 more turns to freeze it out with Shard, and once those turns are exhausted, that Hyena will kill you.
However, Ryvius, you see the shake of the head when he sees Dire Frenzy. This is almost exactly what he wants to see in this spot. Being able to Glacial Shard the threat of Tom, because it's compounded onto 1 minion, means a great deal. Gets to Elven Minstrel because he found a spell to preparation on the previous turn and find a better turn for it. Picks up Sonya to be able to fuel this, and it feels to me like Ryvius might be in the positive win rate situation that Quest Rogue gets into, and way before Tom knows it.
Kill command and so on can still very much give him the business in this game, though, because there's no Scale Hides in sight just yet, and he's a long way from Valera country. What? Expecting the Elven Minstrel that much? The Glacial Shard has to die there for sure, because you open up Sonya as a possibility. You know your opponent has another Shard in hand because of it was the Mimic Pod card, but leaving 1 alive on board does mean that Sonya can do some crazy things.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I want you, and you, and you.
This is bad news for Tom.
I think he needs Wind Fury right now based on his current hand, just to stop that Glacial Shard being
Flanking
recycled.
Strike.
Yeah, just based on his hand, I think he can still do it with just the Wind Fury.
Hunter's
Right?
Mark does not.
No.
Is there any? That's the second Spring Ball he just used as well, right?
Finds the Tundra Rhino, but that's not going to do it. It has to be Wind Fury, or Sonya is going to make a mess of this on the following turn.
Wind
there
Fury.
It is.
And you see Tom adjusting his seat when he sees the Wind Fury. Tom knows what's going on right now. He's very much respecting the presence that Sonya can bring to this.
This is just one of those Rocky movie boxing match games of Hearthstone where both players are just swinging massive clubbing blows back and forwards to each other. There's no one's working the jab. This is just haymakers back and forth.
How could one man take so many right hooks to the face?
3 out of 5.
Yep. I think that the draw of Sonya into Zola run out of gas while Tom found, you know, the Dire Mole off the Master's call here. It's just, now it's becoming too much for Ryvius to handle, even with the Glacial Shards, even with the double preparation. Was missing just a way to stop what Tom was doing.
Yeah, one ball clear, or one draw of the Glacial Shard. Because his gas is there. His quest is, quote, done. It just happens to be in his deck. That's where the remainder of his Glacial Shards are. And that's what made that Wind Fury so huge. I've been talking about it for, I think, 2 or 3 turns now, that Sonya is a special case. There are things that you can do against Quest Rogue that only play around Sonya, especially when that other Glacial Shard was in hand, and Ryvius says, you know what, enough talk, zero-sum game from here, or zero-win game, I should say. I'm going to give it up. The world champion is going to be the one going out to the 1-0 Swiss record. And I worry for Ryvius with that lineup, because if he